Hi guys, so today I'm going to do a opening video of my own Oracle deck, which is What If Oracle. I designed it a few months, not few months actually, in 2024, but I've never really promoted it or shared it as such. I just used it in a couple of readings, I think last year or so, but I'm going to do a walkthrough, and if you like it, you can let me know if you want to make a purchase, and leave me a message if you want, or I can add my email id or whatever. Or even if you don't want to buy it, and if you do like it, do let me know, so it will help me make more content that more people find interesting. So let's start with this one. Basically, the purpose of me creating this deck was uh, essentially that I'm not the most glass full, half full kind of a person. I'm mostly, my glass is broken somewhere in desert. I forgot where I left it in sand kind of a girl, and sometimes I just need a little extra reminders of what if things could be more positive. What if there are other versions of situations to consider. What if there is something else? So I feel I'm not the only one who's as pessimistic as I think I am. There are many, many, many of us. So apart from being a divination tool, I created it as a sort of fun reminder cards for when you're feeling down. So the cards are not in sequence because I have used this deck a couple of times now, and there is no clear sequence. I've not really added numbers anywhere, so it's good to go howsoever you want to use it. So let's start. What if there were no ifs and buts? What if you could do everything you set your mind to? And what would happen? You can use this as an actual journal prompt, or you can use this as just something to think about, or you can just use this as to you know take some time to think about alternate possibilities, or to take some time to think positively about any situation, even if it's not. I'm sorry for the noise. I live near a main road and it can't be controlled. What if, sorry, the second card is what if true love does exist, for when you're feeling that nothing in the universe is working out for you. What if you had all the time in the world? What if you were not running out of time? What if it's all for a reason? What would you do if you got to know the reason behind the mess you're in right now? What if one day it will all be worth it? Um, what if the future is yours to create? What if there's method to your madness? I mean, there's a reason for you acting the way you do, and it's not always that the universe wants to punish you, or you're your worst enemy. Sometimes there's a reason we go a little mad. What if life awes you with its beauty? What if you had more cards to play? What if there are more things that can be done about a situation? What if you just took a break? What if the signs hold the answers you seek? What if you're perfect just the way you are? I think this is something we all need reminders of every now and then. What if silence could speak, which it does? What would it say though? That's something which would be interesting for all of us to figure out for ourselves. What if every step you take counts? Sometimes it's hard to lose sight, really, of anything and everything. Sometimes we lose ourselves in our own sorrows, so much so that we don't realize that maybe this pain is leading to something better. And this card is a reminder of that. What if the best is yet to come? Yeah, similar energy to the previous one. What if you haven't yet met the one? What if the guy you were with was kind of just a douchebag? What if you know more than you realize? Sometimes we have a very hard time trusting and believing ourselves. What if fire could speak? What would it say to you? What if there is nothing you need to change? What if everything is okay as it is? What if you are okay as you are? What if there's nothing for you to fear? What would you do if you could live without fear for even one day? It's a powerful prompt, I believe. What if there is a happily ever after? What if it's not just all misery and sadness? What if things do work out this time? Or what if you could fly this high, as high as an eagle? What would you see about your own situation or about the world? How would your observations change? What if the cup is yet to be filled? Yeah, sometimes if you feel that there's nothing in the damn cup, what if there is something that can fill it? What if you could found it? What if you found it? What if your luck were about to change? What would you do? What if life isn't as hard as it seems? Again, what would you do? I mean, wonder. I mean, it's something. It's about the thought. I believe. What if this is just the end of a season? What if love is stronger than we realize? What if we were not alone? What would the stars tell you then? What if you already have it all? I tried to make all of them as positive as I could, and I think these are fairly positive, so I did a good job. What if you're here for a reason? What if magic were real? How would your life change? It's a question you need to think about for yourself. What if you're worthy of all there is? What if you just try again? I mean, what would it cost? Apart from your willingness to live, apparently. What if there's life beneath the surface? What would you find if there were? What if they love you just as much? Unlikely. What if, what if the angels are near? What if the heart could speak for itself? What would it say? How would your actions, your behaviors change? What if there are better days ahead? There always are. What if the way ahead were clear? What if you're stronger than you think you are? Yeah, if only. Sorry though. Yeah, you're stronger than you think you are. Most of us wildly underestimate our own strengths. So, well, this is not the end of your story, it's just one chapter. What if the universe is listening to your prayers? How would you change your prayers if that were the case? What if you have so much more to give? And I think that's about it. There are 44 cards. This is what the back looks like. Paper quality is decent. It doesn't fold all that easily, but I wouldn't say that it's super thick, but I think it's worth the money or worth the use, I believe. So if you're interested in buying this deck, do let me know. I'm going to charge about 1500 for pan India shipping. The reason for that is the decks usually are printed on demand. I don't really buy them in bulk because I don't have a lot of following right now, but maybe in future when I have better means to sell them at cheaper rates or buy them in bulk, probably I would sell them for much less, but right now it's 1500 including shipping pan India. I'm not selling to outside India right now because I genuinely don't know how to go about that. So if you're still interested, do let me know and I'll figure out a way. Also, if you don't want to buy it and just like it anyway, so let me know about that. So I'll create more videos like that. I actually created a new deck very recently. It will be delivered to me by the end of this week, and I'll create a similar video for that one also.